Yo, what's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to be in DarkHole 2 from VulnHub. This is Black Sword about easy, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so we're going to start by running a discover minus r 10.0.0.1/24/i80. Doing this, we do get the IP of the box 10.0.0.97, so I'm going to start by running a mmap scan. So I'll do mmap minus sc for default scripts, minus sv for enumeration, and those kind of ports on the IP. Doing this, I'm just going to start by visiting port 80. It does seem like port 80 is open for HTTP, so I'm just going to go log in here. I'm also going to do control U to view source code. And it does seem like we have a login page for login.php. I'm going to control U to view source code here. And it doesn't seem like we're doing anything right. So I'm going to start by doing some enumeration and running a GoBuster. I'm going to do control shift C, running GoBuster dir mode -u. As W for user share word list, we'll do dirbuster directory list 2.3 medium.txt with extensions that's HTML, TXT, and also PHP. Looking at the ports, we do have port 22 open for SSH, port 80 open for HTTP. It does seem like we did find a Git repository. Anytime I do find a Git repository, I like searching out for a Git dumper. There should be a repository for this. We can just go to raw data, wget this onto our machine. I'm going to do control shift Z, wget this. We'll do chmod +x for git dumper. We'll do python 3 for git dumper.py. It is asking us for a URL and also a directory, so I'm going to make a directory here. So I'll do kdir for website. I'll be do HTTP. Specify the URL and also specify website. Now we can cd into website. I'm gonna check under config since there usually is passwords under config. I'm gonna cat the config.php, and it doesn't seem like we're doing anything right. Another thing I like doing is looking out for the git logs. If you do type in git log, you do see that we do have the commits, right? The commits are what has been added and what has been removed. Show here to show that they changed the login.php file to be more secure. They also added the default credentials to login.php. So I'm just going to copy the commit and see what they changed and what they added. So I'm going to do git diff. Get this, you do see that we do have red and green. For the minus, you do see minus is what has been deleted and plus is what has been added, right? I'm guessing they added this because they wanted to make the login.php file more secure. Look at this, we do get default creds, launch@admin.com, and a password for 321, right? So I'm gonna copy this and see if we can get it like successful using these credentials, right? So I'm gonna copy this. So I'll copy this, go to under here. I also did have a password as 321. Pressing enter, we do get long successful. So now I'm gonna control U to view the source code. And it doesn't seem like we do anything right. I'm guessing this is vulnerable SQL injection because we do have the ID is equal to 1. So I'm going to copy this and use SQL map to exploit this. So I'm going to split my terminals here. I'm going to use SQL map. Before doing that, I'm going to do minus help. Also, I'm going to grep out for cookie. So we need to specify the PHP session ID, right? The reason I'm specifying the PHP session ID is because we are logged into an account that has the dashboard.php, right? So I'll do SQL map -u, we'll specify the URL, we'll do minus cookie. We'll do minus cookie, which is equal to PHP sesh ID, is equal to find the session ID, you can just go inspect element, go to storage. We can select our value, put the value between PHP session ID. I'm also going to do DBS, we can specify the databases and also do minus batch. And we can see this is vulnerable SQL injection. For the available, so it does seem like this is vulnerable to SQL injection. We do have 5 available databases. We have DarkHole_2, information schema, MySQL, performance schema, and also sys. So I'm just going to take off the DBS here. I'm going to specify capital D for the database. In this case, we want to access the DarkHole_2 database. And we'll do minus tables, right? Here we do have 2 tables under the DarkHole database. So I'm gonna specify -t, we're gonna specify SSH, we'll do -dump-all. And here we did find a password or email as lush@admin.com and 321 for the password, right? Since the table's name is SSH, I'm guessing this is just for the pass is full and for user of jihad, right? So we do have port 22 open for SSH, so I'm just gonna SSH into this. So I'm gonna do SSH as jihad at 10.0.097. We do have a password as full, and we do get long access, right? So I'm gonna go CD into CD back. We do have a user as Lozy, Llama, and jihad, so I'm gonna CD into Lozy, and we do have just our user.txt, right? I'm gonna CD into Llama, see what we have under here, and it doesn't seem like we're doing anything, right? I'm gonna CD into dev, shm. I'm also gonna run a sudo -l as full. We do have the password as full. Seem like we do anything. So I'm gonna wget http. We're gonna be downloading linpiece on here, 10.0.069 on port 8081. We do have linpiece.sh. So I'm gonna CD into my documents. We'll go to privilege escalation. We'll go into linpiece. And we do have that. So I'm gonna start Python server. So I'll do python 3 -m http.server on port 8081. So I'll do ls -la. We'll do chmod +x for linpiece, and we'll run a linpiece and output this to an output.scan, right? Or output.txt, and see what we get for linpiece. Okay, so our linpiece is now finished. So I'm more into output.txt. And right now what I'm going to be looking for is for red, and I'm gonna zoom out. I'm gonna look for red and yellow highlighting, which means something we have to look into. So now I already do see something red. It does seem like we do have a PHP server running on localhost 9999. The reason I say that is because we do have the PHP -s option. -s option means there's a PHP, which you can start up a local server, right? So I'm gonna go under /opt. We did know this is under opt web. I'm gonna cat the index.php, and it is echoing a parameter get, right? So I'm just to make sure this connection is up, I'm gonna do netstat-lmp. And we do have this running on port 9999, right? So I'm just gonna curl this. And it did echo the PHP get. It is using the get parameter to execute command, which is $CMD. So I'm gonna do $CMD is equal to ID. $is equal to ID. And you do see that we do get a user as Lozy, right? If we do ls -la on home, you do see that the user Lozy does exist. And we can execute commands, right? So there's two ways we can do this. So since this is running on localhost 9999, we can port forward this to our host, right? And view this on the web browser and get code execution. Another way you can do this is start up a listener and just and get a connection back, right? Over shell, right? In this case, I'm gonna start up CyberChef. Because we need a URL encode this. So the way I want to do it is, instead of just getting a plain reverse shell, I actually want to make a directory for, I want to make a simple command here that will actually get us the reverse shell, correlate it from our IP address, and put it under DOS/sh, right? So I'm gonna open a new cherry tree, open up a new node. I'm just gonna do RCE. So in this case, we do know we want to make a directory for lower, right? So I'm gonna do mkdir for /home/ lozy.sh. We're going to be using the and command. So usually and command is usually when the first command is successful. It's good to use the and commands because we know what messed up, right? Because it's not going to execute this command if this command failed, right? It's not going to execute the next command if the previous command failed, right? So it's vice versa. So we'll do mkdir. We're going to make a .sh for Lozy. We're going to be using curl. We'll do http 10.0.069 on port 8081. We want to get our authorized underscore keys. So we're going to get it from our IP address 10.0.069 on port 8081, we're going to get our authorize underscore keys. We're going to output this to, home.sh / authorize underscore keys. We'll do add, we'll do chmod 600. We'll just copy this. Because right now you just want to change the permissions. And it does seem like we do have everything, right? So with doing chmod 600, we should be able to use the SSH key, right? The private key for Lori or Lozy. So here we're going to make a directory for Lozy under .sh. We're going to curl the authorize underscore keys, output this to home lozy.sh, authorize underscore keys, change the permission to chmod 600 and home lozy.sh, and basically change the authorize underscore keys permission, right? So I'm gonna copy this. Before doing that, we need to make our authorize underscore keys. So I'm gonna do ssh-keygen. So I'm gonna make a directory for keys. I'm gonna cd into keys. I'm gonna start by making a authorize underscore keys. Before doing that, I'm just going to right quit out of this. We do have our authorize underscore keys. I'm going to copy from root.sh id underscore say to this directory, and also the .pub, right? So I'm going to cat id underscore say .pub and put this under the authorize underscore keys. So I'm going to copy this vi into authorize underscore keys, right quit. Looking back at our cherry tree, we are going to be running this on port 8081, right? So we'll start a Python server. So we'll do Python 3 -m http server on port 8081, and we do have our authorize underscore keys. Just to make sure it matches, I'm gonna do Control F, and you do see that these match, right? We have that authorize underscore keys and authorize underscore keys. So it does seem like the file does match. So now I'm just going to copy this command, put this into CyberChef. I do want to encode all special characters under here. So I'll put this under here, just to make sure this is ran correctly. We do have Lozy, and Lozy. So I'm pressing on this. We do have this on port 8081. It does seem like it did get the authorize underscore keys. So now we can just double check this by going into Lozy. We'll cd into Lozy. We do have a .sh. I did create the .sh. And we do have authorize underscore keys, right? And also did change the permission to chmod 600. So now this is read and write, right? Since we do have the private key for the public key, I'm just going to ssh Lozy at 10.0.069 or 10.0.097. We'll use -I for id underscore RSA, and we do get a long successful as Lozy, right? So there's another way to do this actually. So now since we do have a user as Lozy, we can also port forward this. So we do netstat -tlnp. We can also port forward this onto our local host, right? So doing this, we can do SSH, we can do this, we can specify -l. We'll also specify this on port 9999. We want to SSH into jihad at 10.0.097. And we did know that the password is called full. So now if we do check under our localhost, so we'll do nmap. We'll just scan all ports on our localhost. You do see that we do have a new port open for 9999 for Abby. So I'm just going to visit localhost. I'll just enter the IP address. So 127.0.0.1. And we can do on port 9999. And you do see that this is a port forward to our localhost. We can do cmd is equal to ID. And you can just get a reverse shell this way, right? You can send this within burp, start up listener, and get a reverse shell this way, right? I just wanted to do this using the command because this would give us a persistent shell as low-z, right? Since we do have the public key for the public key on the server, right? So I'm gonna do sudo -l. And it doesn't seem like we do have the password for low-z, right? I'm going to dev shm. So I'm gonna run a lint piece. We're gonna output this to output1.txt, and we're just gonna let this run. Okay, so now I'm gonna more into output1.txt, and we're gonna see, we can see what lint piece has given us, right? Looking at this, this seemed like we do have a password as gang here. Does seem like this was under lowz.bash_history. So we can easily just view that, but it does seem like it did find a password as gang, right? So I'm gonna clear this. I'm gonna do sudo -l. And we didn't know the password was gang. And it does seem like it is the password for lowz, right? So I'm gonna do sudo -u. We'll enter this as root. You have user bin python 3. We'll import OS. We'll do os.system. We'll run a bin/bash. And we now are under root, right? So we can cd into root ls, and we can cat our root.txt. Well, guys, that's pretty much in the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.